Well, good afternoon, boys and girls. Welcome back to another episode of Traplines and Inlines. This is on the Trapline Part 5. It's the morning of January 11th here at camp. Just getting up and at 'em here now, having some bush coffee. We've been stuck in some minus 30 stuff here for quite some time, and we've had minus 37, close to minus 40 on a few times here, a few occasions here. And without the wind chill, and we're gonna get some pure minus 40 stuff here the next few days, so it's pretty cold, and we got quite a bit of snow here now. So today we're off to go check wolf snares. You never know what we might find out on the line. Today could be the day, it might not be, who knows. Catch you down the line, guys.
Well, boys and girls, I can't believe it. I was starting to think I'd never see the day, but I seen it, boys and girls. We finally got a wolf. Stay tuned. Well, pardon the heavy breathing and the excessive excitement here, boys and girls. I'll probably look back at this footage and think I'm an idiot. But you can see here, this was the best set I had at all my wolf snares. This is the very best set. I can't wait to put my hands on him. But he walked up through here. See my trucks off in the distance. Walked up through here. The snare was just right there, and it came up and I caught him. Holy Jesus, this is the big one. I'm sure it is. I cannot believe it. Look at the size of this thing. I cannot believe it. You can see I had a long anchor, probably 10 feet. It's anchored way off there. I joined two 1/8 anchors. And I can't even contain my thoughts right now. Sincere apologies, boys and girls. Let's get our hands on this here wolf. Well, I've calmed myself down here, but I'm like, seriously, pardon my excitement, boys and girls. I just can't even contain it right now. This is one big animal. I've never been so worked up in my life. And we got a real mess of stuff going on here. Oh, this one's got nice fur on him. Holy jeez. Oh. Oh my. See, he's still limp a bit. And it's minus 25 below. So he's been here since last night, I would presume. Oh, this is a gorgeous one. This has got to be the big bugger. Look at the paws on him. Holy jeez. So this Power Ram did an absolutely wonderful job. A quick, humane death. You can see he's tore it up a bit, but not near. He's tore it up a bit, but it could have been just, I can't even think straight. Okay, pardon the mess here. There's a tree branch stuck in here. Oh, I got one hell of a story for you, boys and girls. I do. Holy jeez. Like this kind of an animal could eat a deer in one sitting. And I wouldn't even want to know how many he's devoured in his day. Yeah, he's got some broken down chompers in here, boys. I'm gonna have to cut this snare. It's mangled. Give me a sec. So, I was so overwhelmed I forgot to even check. But it turns out this is a female. I don't even have a clue what this would weigh, boys and girls. I just don't. I don't think, now that I'm looking at it a little more, less excited, I don't think it's a big alpha. But this has got to be the big female he was running with there in my trail cam footage. But it's so hard. There's nothing to judge him by scale, you know. So tell you the truth, I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so that's a 3/32 snare on a Wolfmaster Power Ram. Snare replacement number RS15, 3/32 7x7, 58 inches in length, and I have a 280-pound breakaway on it. You can see it's still limp. Jesus, this is a magnificent animal. Ready for the old wolf hug here, boys and girls. If he's not tied to every bloody tree. This is the second wolf I've caught this year, and I got a story to go with that. This is a big wolf. Holy Jesus. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Ready for the big wolf hug, boys and girls? For reference, I am 6 foot tall, and I wouldn't want to meet this in the dark. What a glorious, glorious animal. This has one beauty pelt on her too. Oh man. I was afraid because the one wolf of the pack had shoulder mites. I was afraid they all had it. And she might very well have it, just so minimal that we can't see it. Or, you know, she's pretty well bound to get it, eh? Having a wolf in the pack with it. Let me show you this close up. This is a tremendous sized animal. I can't wait to weigh him. But look at the fur. This is a prime winter pelt. It's you know, kind of, the whole pack is kind of this color, kind of similar to a coyote. But wow, look at the paws, friends. I can't believe it. Like, look at these. Look at the paw. Jeez, Murphy. What a beautiful, beautiful animal. I have never. Wow. You know, it might not even be as big as I'm making it out to be here. Tell you the truth, friends, but it just dwarf a coyote. You see, it got wrapped up around here. There's a 280-pound breakaway on this snare, and I can't believe it. It held him, and I got a story for that too, which I've probably already said. Okay, you can see snare is right behind the ears. Perfect catch. Holy jeez, this is exciting, boys and girls. Let me regain myself again here before I keep rambling on with stupid shit. So it'll be very cool to look back at the trail cam footage and see which wolf this actually is. I doubt it's the big alpha. I'm second guessing that. You can see the teeth, they're gnawed down a bit here, but it doesn't look like a proper, you know, old dominant wolf, eh? But a wolf nevertheless. I just cannot believe the size of it. A little bit red on the belly, you see, big female, but nevertheless, just gorgeous. I can hardly believe it. I've worked so hard for this very moment. I can't even tell you. You can see my snare. I can't find my breakaway to show you. It'll probably have to unthaw a bit before it's froze in there. That's where I cut it. But yeah, perfect in and around the neck. I couldn't ask for a better catch. That Wolfmaster did one hell of a job. Got blessed with a very nice catch, so it was a quick and painless death. We don't want to see any animals suffer. And wow, phenomenal. I can't believe it. This is gonna be one hell of a workout. Ooh. Oh, I better get one more wolf hug for the camera. Oh, Jesus, Murphy and H. Ooh, there is weight there. Oh, I'm telling you, there's weight there. The more I look at this, the bigger it gets. Yeah, no hope in that. That's too heavy. Oh man. Well, never in my life have I had a workout quite like that. This is one hell of a hill to walk up. I'm spent quite a bit of time here now. Still got half the snares to check. I can't believe it. I would have never guessed. And because I caught that one and he broke the snare, I thought I would never see a wolf track around here again. And I think it very well might have been the wolf, same wolf. I can't see any tracks whatsoever because it just snowed. So it's pretty well just a check day. So we will finish checking the snares here and then head back to camp. I want to talk to you guys about and show you the footage of the wolf I lost and talk to you about the events leading up to this moment, because it makes for one hell of a story. So it's hard to actually guess how much this wolf weighs, but we'll weigh him and tell you. But they always look heavier than they are, same as coyotes, because they're so lanky and awkward to lift. I don't think there's a chance in hell he goes under 80. So, oh, I hope it does it justice. But you stretch this out, it's as tall as I am. Capable of doing a lot of damage, I'll tell you that much. I should have probably dropped this tailgate. Not a chance in hell. Okay. This seems like a better plan. Oh, Jesus. What a beast. Oh, man. It's gonna take a lot to top this, boys and girls. But you never know what could happen on the trap line. Got more to check if I can still breathe by then. Well, you don't quite realize the difference in size until you get them stacked up beside each other. For reference sake, this coyote here is nearly, this wolf is nearly 4 times the weight of that coyote. That's pretty cool. Got my nice little fisher here too. I'm gonna keep this one. It's a very pretty one. I'm gonna put it in my cabin, skin it for taxidermy too, and because the prices are just so bad. These are pretty average kites I got here. Some are nicer than others. This one is bad, it's got mites. But I'm gonna skin it because I wanna learn how to tan this summer. So that'll be a great one to start out on. And then because it's only a $20 or $30 pelt. So if I mess up, it's no big deal and be a great trial run, eh? So we'll start with that one. Couple really big coyotes in here too, but just look at the size of this wolf. I couldn't ask for a better pelt on him either. Like that, just nice fur. Maybe it gets a little thin in here, but it's nice, like very nice. I can't believe the size of him. So I just got him thawed there now. Like look, holy jeez. Just got him thawed there now. I'll have to put him side by side for the show. And yeah, so I'm skinning him tonight. There was some doubt at first that I didn't catch the very biggest one, but when you put them side by side, I'm quite certain that it is the big one. I just can't believe the size of this wolf pelt. Hopefully his lip didn't get chewed up when he got the snare around him there. Big wolf, that's for sure. You know, he's got some monstrous sized paws on him, or her rather. I'm gonna have to wash this pelt. Unfortunately got some blood on it. Remember how I cut this snare? I want to show you this in real time, show you for sure the breakaway on here, because I can hardly believe it myself. This snare is in there deep. Just a perfect behind the ears catch, eh? I'm very curious here. There we go. So here comes the snare off the neck. It's in there deep. See, there it is. My 280-pound breakaway. You see how small that breakaway is? It's not even bent back. Do you see that? It's not, it hasn't even opened up any. That is crazy. But I crimped it as about as far as I could.
just for that extra peace of mind. I probably overcrimped it a bit, but I can't believe it's not even bent back a bit. See, that's the true beauty of these Wolfmaster Power Rams in general. You can get away with the small breakaways and lose the deer, lose the elk, the moose, the whatever, yet still you can tie them down. I couldn't have asked for a more perfect catch. Out of all the animals I've caught this year, that had to be the nicest catch. Right around the neck. Perfect. For a workout. Its nose is dragging. And I got it way down in the, oh, big workout. Well, I finally knocked the bark off my wolf there. So I can, if I hold this as high as I can hold it, the tail is touching the ground. Probably 7.5 feet, 8 feet maybe. Just beautiful fur on this one. Maybe not the most unique fur that you've ever seen on a wolf, eh? But like the most unique coloring, eh? But you couldn't ask for a much better furred one. Like it's well furred, so that's all good. I'm really taking my time here on this pelt. It's gonna take me a while, you know, but things are going really good so far. It took me a hell of a lot of time around the neck. I've never seen a snare dug in so deep before. It was just a beautiful catch. I got to skin out the paws and split the ears and the lips, flesh and wash, and then I don't actually have a wolf board here, eh? So I'm gonna have to build one. So we'll have to freeze it until then, but it's no rush. The only damage on this pelt, there's a little bit of the lip missing here from the snare, but other than that, the whole works is good. So, but that's no problem, because I'm gonna tan this one up or get it tan, not sure yet, and it will just be a wall hanger, eh? So, but you could always, from that point, you could always get something made out of it if you'd like a mount or something, eh? But it'll just be a wall hanger for now, but I'm keeping this one. There's no two ways about that. So keep you tuned. Well, I'm finally done skinning out all the paws. It was easier than I thought it would be, but really time consuming. Also had to take out all the fat under this pad. So see now there's no bone, just the claw in it, eh? So that'll dry properly now, and I'm gonna flush this wolf pelt now and then put him in the freezer and come back to it when I got a stretcher board. Well, never in my life have I flushed something such a prick as this here. Like, you know, you get a big old coyote and you think that's a pain in the ass. Wait till you get a big old wolf, an older wolf, or just like an older coyote, except about twice as bad. It's brutal. Like, I had a hell of a time. Like, it's just, there's hardly any fat on it. Like, always get more fat off than that on every coyote I do, but it's just so thick this hide. Like, I'm going nowhere quick. It's brutal. I'm getting her clean, but it's taking forever. Well, I'm finally done with this wolf pelt for tonight. As you can see, it got a little dirty on me, but it needed to be, oh fuck. Well, I'm finally done with this wolf pelt for tonight. As you can see, it got a little dirty on me, a bit of blood here and there, but it had to be washed anyway, so I didn't really bother myself with it. That was a hell of a lot of work. I'm tired, going to bed. Probably gonna have nightmares about flushing this wolf. It was a pain in the ass process. I'm quite certain that this had to have been, you know, the alpha female. Like, this is a big wolf. There's no shortage of size to it. Now it is finally time to tell the story I've been dying to tell. I got lots to talk to you guys about there. So I've had this wolf bait going here for just shy of a month, or 3 weeks or whatever. So right after I set the bait, I had the wolves come in there right off the beginning there. You seen in episode 1 there. And they came in and they didn't even go anywhere close to my bait or any of my snares. They came in from the south and circled my camp. So I didn't know what quite happened there. They didn't even go anywhere near my bait. I couldn't believe it, eh? And there was just a flock of ravens there, and I was like, what the heck, eh? So then that went on. Then 2 weeks later, New Year's Eve, they came in again, and they really came in this time. And they went and they kind of circled around my bait, but they didn't actually eat at my bait. It was the funniest thing. I couldn't believe it. They probably kind of smelled something was wrong. Eh? I don't know why they didn't come in and eat, but they didn't. But they circled all in around my bait. And on one snare there, 200 yards from my bait on a nice cut line, I caught one of the bigger ones for sure, if not the biggest one. And I caught him in a power snare, and I'll show you that clip here now.
Okay, this is 2 days after the fact. I had to cool down before I made this clip. I've never been so frustrated and pissed off in my life. See here, wolf tracks on the trail. I caught him right here, and he tore things up. And he tore this up pretty good, hey? And he got caught, and here's what's happened that's bad, eh? You see, he pulled it over here, made quite a mess. He was here long enough, he should have been dead, you know. The snare held him as long as it needed to. It was the ram that failed the whole deal. And I'll show you exactly what happened. This ram got lodged under the tree. I pulled it out, but it got lodged under the tree, and then he got wraps around the tree, okay? You can see how deep that snare is cut into that tree. He was really pulling on it. And with wraps around the tree like this, there's no pressure from the ram on the snare. So essentially it became loose. And you can see what's happened here. And I've never been so devastated in my life. So frustrated. And I guess I'll show you guys this clip if I ever do catch anything.
I was pretty pissed off there, so I had to go back the next day and take it again, because I was just yelling and swearing. It's probably a load of senseless nonsense. There, I was pretty pissed off, to tell you the truth. But what had happened there is the power snare got lodged under the tree. So then the force of the spring was off the snare. And then somehow or another, he managed to get wraps around that tree. That little branch, that small little tree there that he got the ram lodged under. So at that point, there was no force on the snare at all, because he had wraps around the tree and the ram was lodged. So he got a chance that he shouldn't have had to break the snare and get away. So it held him there long enough that he should have been dead, you know. But he got underneath and he wrapped himself around the tree and took the force off the snare from the power ram. So that was really unfortunate. I've never had one tangle up quite like that. So then he had the opportunity to get away, because there's no lock on that power snare, right? So it's just loose there around his neck. He had a chance to pull away and ended up breaking the 280-pound breakaway. Now more on that later. But it was a 3/32 snare, same as the one I caught the wolf in. With the same breakaway, but because he got the force off the snare, he had all the time in the world to break loose there. It didn't matter if that was a 1/8 snare or you know, anything. He had the chance to break free, because there's no pressure on the snare and there's no lock for it to tighten up. So he had all the time in the world to chew out or break out, eh? So it didn't matter if that was a 280-pound breakaway or a 1/8 cable. He was going to get out of there. So that was unfortunate. But then I was just so disheartened, and I says, okay, I've educated the smartest animal in the bush. I'm not ever going to get this chance again, right? So I was so disheartened. So then on the next day after I lost the wolf there, it was New Year's Day, and I should have been off celebrating with my family, but instead I spent the whole day and I completely reset the wolf line. I moved basically all my snares. I've never been so motivated in my life, honestly. It was just like it had to happen. It wasn't going to end like this, you know? So I completely reset anything, and it was in one of those snares that I moved that caught the wolf, so that turned out to really pay off. Now I want to talk here. So I don't want this to turn into a rant, and I mean no harm. A lot of the rules here on the trapping are very vague and contradict one another, and I had a great confusion there. So on my snaring permit, it says all snares must be a maximum of 3/64 inch without a breakaway, or up to 5/64 with a 280 pound breakaway. So I was quite certain they were referring to kite snares, right? And then it says all snares set in for wolves used with the Wolfmaster Power Spring must use the certified snares, and they are the RS 7, 9, 11, and 15. So I bought the RS 15s. They're 58 inch, 3/32 7x7 snares. So I bought those, and then I was thinking, like, okay, a 3/32 snare is capable of putting down any animal in a power ram. They're just such a deadly device, right? And I don't want to be catching non-target species. So I called many different COs. I called the general inquiry line on multiple occasions. Every time they sent me back to a CO who never called me back. I talked to different trappers that gave me names of guys that were just these are the guys to talk to. Couldn't get a hold of them. No answer on the phone. And I mean no harm, because I know a lot of really great COs, and they protect the one thing I love most, and I mean no harm. But the rules are too vague. They don't give us enough to go on, and something needs to change. They got to define them a bit more, because I didn't know what. And I asked this question, okay, do I use the certified snares without the breakaway, or do I use the 280 pound breakaway? Because a wolf is a powerful animal, more powerful than a deer. And that 280 pound breakaway is designed to release animals from deer to moose, right? So I couldn't get an answer on this question. I got a whole bunch of different answers. I got guys saying use the 280s on the snares, just use the certified snares without the breakaway. I even had an answer that I wasn't even allowed to trap wolves in not being on the fur block, which is definitely wrong. So I was very irritated. But I don't blame these guys. I blame the guys that wrote the rules and left them so vague and to contradict themselves, you know. So then I finally talked to the Camel Cowboy Outdoors, my good buddy there, and he says, yep, the 280 pound breakaway, they can hold a wolf. He says he's held a few in wolves. So I said, you know what? I'll use the 280s on the breakaway. There's no way I can get in trouble for doing that. Even though I've asked everyone, I can't get a straight answer. I'll put the 280s on the certified snares, because at least that way I'm not catching any non-target species, right? But I was so worried that the 280 pound breakaway wouldn't hold a wolf, right? Because it doesn't take much to trip a 280. I played it safe for sure, and more importantly, I just didn't want to be catching non-target species. The best decision I've ever made, and I owe a lot to the Camel Cowboy Outdoors. He's a very experienced, knowledgeable wolf trapper. You should go check out his channel. He's a great guy there. And because I put those 280 pound breakaways on the wolf snares, and I had eight breakaways: deer, moose, elk, everything. So I couldn't live with myself if I snared something I didn't want to, you know, like if I caught a deer in one of those snares, you know, that would really suck. I didn't want that to happen. So I had these 8 breakaways, and that was good, right? Like, great. And then I lost the wolf in the 280, but it was under very unfortunate circumstances that he got the chance to get away. So, but then still, I was still so weary, but still I stuck with it and left the 280s on the snares. So I very well believe you could use just the certified snares, but I put the 280s on there just to make sure I wasn't catching these non-target animals. And sure enough, that 280 pound breakaway, like the Camel Cowboy Outdoors said, held that big wolf. And that was a big wolf. She went low 90s. They don't get much bigger than that. So I was very, very happy that I put the breakaways on there. And despite losing that one wolf, I could have potentially saved 8 other non-target species. And like I said, the circumstances were so unfortunate, I could have lost a wolf there if that was a 1/8 cable, you know. So I was very glad for that, and I owe the Camel Cowboy Outdoors a lot for, you know, for helping me out there and I'm so glad I used the 280s. Now looking back at the footage, my trail cam videos, there's not a whole lot to go off of. I'll probably show them here now, but it's hard to say really which wolf I caught, tell you the truth. The big one in the footage, I always assumed a male. It kind of just looks like the alpha in the pack, and I know for sure there's 4 in the pack, but there could very well be more. Just not sure, but a 92 pounder or 93 or whatever it came out to be, that's a pretty big wolf. So I'm not entirely sure. I'll let you guys leave that for interpretation, I suppose. But now for a word on wolf management for a lot of my friends here, because I'm very fortunate I get to see these things firsthand. A lot of people don't get that opportunity. It's fine. So I'll kind of try and explain things a bit here. First off, like, there is a lot of wolves, and every year there's more and more, and they're moving further and further south. And they're really doing a number around here on the deer and the moose and the elk. And every year there's more. Like, they're reproducing like this and this and this. But as it stands right now, around my camp, it's barren. There's nothing. Like, I see very few deer and elk and moose. Lots of moose without calves, and I haven't seen one fawn. Like, things are tough around here. And you get these high populations of predators, and they keep eating and eating and reproducing, and then all of a sudden they crash. You know, it's all boom and bust, Mother Nature. All of a sudden there's nothing left to eat, and there's a whole shitload of wolves and coyotes, and then there starts to be a lot of conflict within the species. You know, wolves start eating other wolves. They start getting disease, like this pack head. The one wolf in that pack is just, I wouldn't be surprised if he's already died by now. And I was worried that it passed on to the other wolves, and it probably has. He's got the shoulder mites. So then they start getting this disease within the species, and they wipe themselves out, at their own demise. They eat everything they can eat. They starve. They freeze. They get disease. It's a cruel environment. So, like, through ethical and sustainable trapping methods, you know, we can slowly take very moderate from the boom of this cycle and minimize the bust, like I tried to explain there in a previous video. You know, to just manage the wolves to a respectable level, and to keep the ecosystem healthy and help it out in the little ways we can. But like I said, the habitat's right. There's always going to be wolves. I'm not here to wipe out the whole species. That would just be ignorant, you know. But the habitat is right. There's always going to be wolves. Like I said, even if I dedicated my whole life to it, I wouldn't even scratch the surface, you know. But I can help them out in the little ways that I can. So I spent a year and a half. I spent so many hours getting that first wolf, and there's just so many unfortunate circumstances along the way. Right at the beginning of last year, I had that big one step on a frozen trap, and then I missed one in a snare, and so on. And then they went completely MIA on me last year at about end of January. They just didn't see him again until the spring, so that was funny. And then this year, I lost the one. I missed. I had a couple really close calls, and it just made the moment so sweet. Finally getting one. Like, I never doubted that I could get him to stick its head in the snare, but they're a tough animal to trap. One guy once told me, if you can catch a kite, you can catch a wolf. I don't find this to be all that true. You know, they're just so much smarter, I think. But I had a real shit sequence of luck there, so that didn't help anything. So anyway, I'm going to keep this wolf pelt. There's no way I can send it off, so I'll have to skin it up there and make something out of it. I want to learn to tan, so maybe I'll tan that up, and I want to put it right there in the cabin, so that'll be great. You know, there's just such a story behind it. Buy some more power rams for coyotes and whatnot, and there's still lots more wolf trapping to do, so that'll be great fun there. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching another episode of Traplines and Inlines. Thank you to all the friends that have been tagging along on this journey here to finally get a wolf. I know it's probably been frustrating even for the viewer to see how long it's taken me, but we finally got one in a power ram to boot. To snare a wolf in a power ram, to me, it's just the pinnacle. I'm feeling very confident. Not cocky, but confident. You know, I'm feeling pretty good here now. It's a big weight off my shoulders. I hard to explain, but it's such a relief to finally get one. I was even starting to doubt myself there towards the end. So that's all great there. We'll keep on snaring. I got a lot to do. I got power rams in the mail. Things are looking great around here. So thank you all to all my friends for tagging along and whatnot there. So on to the next one, guys. Over and out.